what you can have, I mean, let's talk about this. Like one guy trapped on a desert island, right? He could say to himself, when he's there on the desert island all by himself, he could say, it is wrong to eat coconuts on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right? He could impose that rule on himself, right? But that's just him making that up, right? Is it in any objective sense, does that, the fact that he has decided that for himself, make it true? No. Now, as soon as you have two people and there's a practical concern like we might accidentally kill ourselves by eating all the coconuts. So we're going to consciously make the decision jointly that we're going to stay away from the coconuts one day a week so that the coconut crop can survive, right? Now you have a basis for that rule that they have made, and it means something. I guess it could mean it to that one guy if he was in the same issue.
He's got a lovely bunch of coconuts.
You know what I'm saying? For any moral rules that don't track back to some practical reality are pointless in the first place and just a means of imposing your will on others. Okay.
All right.
I'm done.
Got Joseph in Reading. Hello.
Hi, yeah, I was wondering, what do you guys think of these prosperity gospel preachers that are out there? They always give you they always tell you to send them money, and they give you these testimonials, and they're almost always positive, but the only time they're negative, they're sitting there laying a guilt trip on that person because they're questioning their faith, and they make them seem like bad people for some reason. And I've noticed that about the only people really getting prosperous off the prosperity gospels are the people preaching it.
This is one of those occasions where I'm going to have to take a page out of Penn and Teller's book in order to avoid being sued. They're dicks. That's my opinion. It is my opinion that they are exploitive dicks.
Yeah, I would say that. Thank you for it.
I'd like to see, thanks a lot for calling.
Yeah.
I'd actually like to see more investigation in this area. I'm not actually accusing them of being frauds because that might actually get me in trouble, but I would certainly like to see law enforcement actually get off their ass and begin investigating more and more things like this to determine whether or not the claims that they're making are justified. Because if they're not, then they are in fact exploiting people's beliefs in order to rob them, which makes them no different than fraudulent psychics and others who have done this over and over again.
It's the same thing. It's telling people what they want to hear, so they will give you their money.
Yeah. And it's, by the way, one of the easiest things you could possibly do. Telling somebody what they want to hear. I mean, unless you're like some socially awkward person who doesn't get personal interactions, it's really easy to tell somebody exactly what they want to hear, because usually all you have to do is start listening and they'll tell you what they want to hear. You know. Do you think that I did the right thing? Well, of course you did, sweetie. It was exactly what God wanted you to do. Got a 20? We got Kyle in Olympia. How are you? Hello?
Kyle?
Yes, hi. Am I there?
You are.
Yes, hi. How you doing? I just want to make a quick comment about Tracy that was just on there a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in the same position, the exact same position a while back. And I just wanted to say something that someone told me. I hope he's still there so he can hear this. What they said is that if there was a God that created that first the Big Bang, let's say God created the Big Bang, he caused it, then you would need something that created God in the first place, and then so on before that. So you don't really need a God, because then you would need a creator for God.
That's true.
So, I mean, that's like the thing that really helped me when I was in his position.
Yeah, and it's part of what Jeff was saying and kind of leading to was this, that they're positing this huge complicated thing that they're not offering an explanation.
You can of course also argue that that you need an explanation for even an incredibly simple, hot point of super dense stuff, right?
Right.
The alternative to the God. But that's where you get into, well, look at the two things you're being asked to accept without any explanation. And the further difference, of course, is that physicists are working on an explanation for the origins of of those starting conditions, right? Those incredibly simplistic starting conditions. Physicists are able to work on that. On the flip side is religion, where the only reason you were even talking about this invisible cosmic consciousness guy is that some mystics in the, who doing whatever it is that mystics do, came up with this idea. There's no testing to determine that it's true. There's no reason to accept anything that they say. I think, given those two choices, it's obvious which place to put your trust at the moment.
Right. And even now, I do a lot of reading on quantum physics and all that.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to make it simple as possible for the caller. That's the first thing that actually got me through that little, dilemma or whatever you call it.
Yeah. Do you want to recommend a particular book?
I'm not really sure. It was a whole lot of things that I've read, articles and
Yeah.
In a whole bunch of different websites. So I'm not really sure something that I could recommend specifically.
Okay, that's fair.
But that's all I just wanted to add. Thanks for the second song.
Sure.
Thanks for calling.
Thanks a lot. And I actually, that was Luis again. I don't know if I hit the wrong button or if it was labeled wrong or what, but line to Kyle. Are you
Kyle,
there?
you still there?
Yeah, hello?
Hey,
Yeah,
Kyle. how
sorry
are
about
you?
that confusion.
Oh, I'm great, thank you. I just wanted to ask you if you had heard about the Iranian woman Sakineh Mohammadi Ashtiani.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's been sentenced to execution because of adultery.
Yep.
She was going to be stoned to death, but there's already been a lot of outcry about that. So they've decided not to stone her, but I believe they're still planning to execute her, possibly by hanging or something else. Her husband is already dead, apparently, and the reason everybody knows about this is because her two children have been pleading with the world to help bring their mother back home to them. There have been YouTube videos discussing it. I actually saw a video that Aaron Ra put on his channel. And so I just wanted to bring that to your attention and sort of ask if everyone could read about that. There's an article on Iranian.com, which is IRANIAN.com, called Crushed Under Stones. And you can sign a petition on several sites. One of them is Free Sakineh. That would be FREESAKINEH.org.
Yeah.
And hopefully, if enough people bring this to the public attention, then we can, make enough noise that this will be reconsidered.
I really wish that was true, and I hope that's true. And by all means, everybody get out there and sign whatever petitions you like. I just don't think that we have any reason to think that the Iranian government is going to care a bit about what a bunch of, non-Iranian infidels say on a petition. And while I'm not the current president of the United States, if I was, I'd be working full time for some kind of diplomatic solution, and then I'd have the SEALs on standby to go in and rescue her. But my views on foreign policy may differ from people who are actually in charge. I don't care if it doesn't matter to me whether she was guilty or not, or whether she had kids or not, or whether her husband's dead or not. I don't care if she was, taking money and lining them up at the door. She doesn't get, you don't get to kill her.
Yeah, and I don't care how much they soften the execution. I mean,
Oh, they're gonna stone
if they
her.
announced, oh, it's just going to be, a very calm, pleasant, lethal injection, it's like that doesn't make it any better.
Yeah.
What difference does that make? So,
I agree with you that it does seem like a long shot. But assuming that there's no way that we can possibly stop this execution, I think it's worthwhile still to
Sure.
bring this out in the open.
Sure. And
yeah, I'm less skeptical than Matt about that.
And
there
if they-
have been a number of cases in recent years where public outcry has apparently caused a change in the carrying out of sentences like this.
in Iran.
In the Middle East.
They do talk about that in the article on Iranian.com.
Yeah.
There have been instances recently where people have been saved from execution.
And Matt's question was, have those incidents happened in Iran?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
then I'm more optimistic than I was.
Excellent.
And I think it would be nice if world leaders stood up and said that if, in fact, you go through with this, you don't think for a second that this is the end, that you can kill her and trust everybody to remember, to forget in a week or so. This is something where it's time for not only the world leaders to step up and do their job, but the United Nations to step up and say, look, your civil rights abuses, we've done a nudge, nudge, wink, wink. We've tried to ignore them when it comes to trade agreements and things like that. But now you're just a perverse society. And we cannot in good conscience call ourselves good citizens, good friends, good anything, and allow you to continue doing that. And actually enforce that when it happens instead of just, oh, okay, they killed another woman. They killed another person.
Mm-hmm.
Let them,
I think
our
that's sort of
quirky Middle Eastern cousins.
The Iranian government does seem to be hoping that they can just kill her and get it over with and have everybody say, oh, well, she's already dead, so no use in raising any issues anymore, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, well.
Thanks a lot
thank
for
you.
calling, Kyle. I got like a minute and some change left, and I want to get one last call on before we re-roll the credits. So appreciate
All right,
it.
thank you very much.
Thanks,
Goodbye.
Kyle.
Malcolm in Austin is dropped off the line. So I'll just hit a statement. People always want a reason for things, but some things can't be understood rationally. The wind exists, but you can't see it. God is like the wind. You want to take that real quick?
We can't see the wind because the wind is made of relatively transparent molecules, but we can certainly detect the wind with all kinds of ways, and we can't do that when it comes to your God. So there is a difference.
Yeah, your God is not like the wind.
Yeah. In order to make that work, you'd have to find some other thing which
I just
absolutely
read
for
here.
sure exists that is also completely not detectable, and you can't, because that's stuff like things like Odin and Zeus and Apollo.
I just
that's
did
the
more
other
work
stuff.
than every god in history. Run the credits.